Hello everyone, welcome to second week of class and welcome to day 2 of UI UX design using Figma. I'm going to launch Figma now and we'll continue working on our mobile app that we started the last time. Remember, we created the login screen of the mobile app and today we are going to create more pages for this application. So the UI UX design we are going to make today will allow users to be able to create portfolio within our app. And they will also be able to showcase the portfolio to other people. So right now I'm going to open the project and we will continue the design. So the application is launched now, but meanwhile we have to give our project a name. We didn't give the project a name the last time. I'm going to name the project now and I'll call it IMA app. So what you do is click on the untitled at the top of the screen and then give your project a name. Alright, right now we are going to create a new frame by clicking on the frame icon in the tools section over here. So we'll choose iPhone 8 from the right sidebar and then we'll continue with the design. So the new frame I just created now, I'll change the name to portfolio by double clicking on the name of the frame. So the next thing I want to do now is I want to create a columns layout. So once the frame name is selected, head over to the right side of the screen and then select layout grid. So once you click on layout grid, you'll be able to see the options for layout grid, or you click on the plus sign on the right side. So right now we'll choose this option that says layout grid settings. So in layout grid settings, there's a drop down that says grid, so I'll change it to columns by clicking on the drop down arrow. So now within columns, I'm going to change the settings of our columns to have 3 counts and then 16 margin, then 16 gutter. Now the gutter means the spaces between the bars, the columns we have here. So the space you can see in between of each column is what the gutter is all about. Then the margin is the space at the 2 sides of the frame. So this is what it will look like. So the count is 3. Then we change the margin to 16. And then the gutter to 16. So right now the space we have between each column is 16, which is the gutter. And then the margin space on the 2 sides is also 16, and we have 3 columns on the frame. Now the reason why we have 3 columns, it depends on the number of columns you may want to have on your frame. Now the reason we are having these 3 columns on the frame is we want to put just few items on the screen at the same time. So aligning from this left side to the right side, we want few items to be on the screen. So if we need to make the screen to have a lot of elements on the screen arranging from the left side to the right side, then you can decide to increase the columns layout settings, maybe to the count of 5 or even more, depending on the design you want to make. So right now we are done with creating the columns layout and then click on close. So I'm going to create the navigation bar for this mobile app, and the navigation bar is going to be at the downside of the frame over here. So we want to create the home icon, then the button to upload to the portfolio, and also the menu icon for the profile settings of the user. So let's get started. Now I've created the icons earlier, as you can see over here. I'm going to copy then paste the icons in our frame. So we are going to use these icons for navigation and to upload to the portfolio. So I'm going to drag to position the 3 icons I have created. Alright. This is what we have right now as the navigation icons for our mobile app. Then I'm going to also create a rectangle bar at the downside of the frame. So I'll go to the tool section, then click on rectangle, then draw a rectangle in this form. Then let's make sure our rectangle is 64 pixels in height. Okay, now I'm going to arrange the rectangle to make sure it goes behind the icons or the navigation icons I have on the frame. So I'll right click on the rectangle, then click on send to back. All right, so now I'll also make sure the rectangle is aligned to the bottom side of the frame. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is to make sure that the icons are also aligned with the rectangle. So I've selected all of the icons, then I'll also shift the icons upwards a little bit just to make sure it is centered. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to copy the name of our mobile app from the first frame I have here, then paste in the second frame by selecting the second frame, then paste. All right, now we already have our app name within the second frame, but I need to change the color. So I'll change the color to a very dark color, maybe black color in this form. We might change it later, but let's just see how it goes. So now we already have our app name within here. I'm going to reduce the size for now. Then make sure it is centered. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now is, let's shift it up a little bit. Then the next thing I want to do now is I want to create the layout for the user's portfolio, and we'll start by going to the tool section, then on the shape tools, click the drop down arrow, then select ellipse from the drop down. Then you can use the O shortcut on the keyboard to select ellipse if you are not going directly to the tool section. So I'm going to draw a circle, and that will be the profile picture of our user. So right now, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle when you are drawing, but once you are done drawing, you can head over to the right side under Design tab, and then the width change to the value you want. But in this case, we are going to give it 50 on the width and then 50 on the height. So this will give us a perfect circle. So the next thing I want to do now is I want to create a rectangle. So I will still go back to the shape tools, then select rectangle, and then draw the rectangle on the frame. So hit escape on the keyboard, and then we can align our rectangle shape and the ellipse shape we have created. Okay. The next thing I want to do now is to replace the shapes we have created with images. I'm going to select the circle we have just created, then head over to the design section, and then go to fill. Click on the color box, then go to where you can see solid and click on the drop down arrow, and then select image. So by so doing, we can replace the shape we have created with an image. So click on choose image, and then you can select the image from your computer and then replace the shape immediately. Alright, so the shape is replaced now, and then I will select the rectangle shape also, then head over to the same fill section, click on the color box, change solid to image, then click on choose image. Then we can select any of the images we have. Okay, then close. Alright, so now I'm going to give this rectangle shape a corner radius by coming over to the design tab and then corner radius, then change the value to 10. Okay, so this looks good now, and I'm going to duplicate what we already have here, by selecting the two elements we now have, and then I'll copy and then paste. So you copy and paste with Command C and then paste with Command V, or on the Windows keyboard you copy with Ctrl C and then Ctrl V to paste. So now I'm going to drag down to reveal the other layer. So now we already have two items on the screen, and let me be sure it is well aligned. Okay, so now it is aligned, and then the spacing between the two elements is 28. So how do I know this? Just hold Option on the Mac keyboard or Alt on the Windows keyboard, then place your mouse on top of the layer next to the one you selected. Then it will show to you the spacing between the two items. So right now I have 28 and I want to make it 30. So I'm going to click on the down arrow on the keyboard twice and check again. So now I have 30 as the spacing between both elements. So right now I'm also going to change the picture I have over here because I want to make sure it's another user's portfolio we are looking at. So I'll go to Fill under Design tab, then click on Fill Image we can see over here, and then we already have image selected. Then head over to the image box over here and click Choose Image. So we can now choose the image we want by selecting any of the images in our folder. Close, then select the profile picture too, then head over to the fill section, click on the image, and then click on choose image from the image box here. And then we can give our we can change the profile picture of our image. Okay. So right now our portfolio screen is ready. So right now I'm going to move the user uploaded images up a little bit close to the app name. So now that I have all of the images selected, I will hold Shift on the keyboard, then press the arrow key, the up arrow key on the keyboard, and it will move the images up 10 pixels at a time. This is perfect now, and I can remove the columns layout we have created earlier. So click on the frame name, then head over to the right side of the design tab again, then click on the layout grid eye icon you can see over here. It will turn off the column settings we created, or click on the minus sign you can see here. It will remove the column settings. So here I'm going to hide the column settings we created. So this is what we have now. I'm going to also make sure that the navigation tab we have here, I'll change the color a little bit. So I'm going to select all of the navigation items we have at the same time, then pick the blue color we have here already. So how will I do this? Just go down to the design tab section, then look for the one that says stroke, because what I have created is strokes and not fill color. So strokes are just outline colors and not the solid colors you can see over here right now. So you head over to the stroke section, then click on the stroke color box you can see now, and then click on the pick tool, the color picker you can see here, and then we can now pick the blue color we have in the first screen. Okay, so close. Now the next thing I'm going to do is change the background color of the navigation tab we have down here. So I'm going to select the rectangle shape, then go to the fill color box, then select the color picker, and then give it the blue color again. But meanwhile, I'm going to reduce the opacity by dragging the icon you can see over here down a little bit, just like this. All right, so let's close it now. So the next thing I want to do is also change the color of our app name to blue. So I'll select the app name, then head over to fill color over here, select, and then select the color picker, and then choose from the blue color we have over here. So right now we have successfully created the portfolio screen for our app. Then the third screen we want to create now is for each portfolio picture to be able to open on a single page. So the next screen will display the portfolio picture we have without showing other users portfolio. So what I'll do now is select the name of the frame, then I'm going to duplicate by hitting Command D on the keyboard or Control D on Windows keyboard. All right, so I'm going to remove one of the pictures we have from our users. So I'll remove the first one, then drag this up a little bit. Then I'm going to remove the profile picture, and also I'm going to increase the size of the image. Meanwhile, we need to return the columns layout by selecting the name of the frame, then turn on the grid settings. All right, so now I want to make sure that the profile picture is extending from the first bar to the last bar. Then drag it down a little bit by increasing the size. Okay, then let's align a little bit. All right, so I'm going to return our user's profile picture to the single image we have in our frame. Then let's also remember to change the name of this frame to single portfolio. I'll drag the profile picture now to the bottom side of the image we have here. So I'll click, then drag to the down part. Now I'm going to make sure that the spacing between the profile picture and the image is 20. So I'm going to take it down 2 steps, 1, 2. Now you can see that we have 20 pixel spacing between them. So we are going to give this image a title. So we are going to give it the title of my portfolio image. So go to tool section, then click on text tool, and then let's type my portfolio image. So let's take it up a little bit. So let's duplicate the layer by holding Option on the keyboard or Alt on the Windows keyboard, then drag it down. Okay, so we are going to give it the name of our user and say my name. Then let's change the font size and the font weight also. So this is the font size. We are going to give it 14 as the font size. Then we are going to reduce the font weight to regular. Okay, so let's just take it up a little bit here. So now we have successfully created this. So we are going to change the text color of the title. So let's select the color picker now and then pick from the blue color we have over here. Okay. All right, so we can now disable the columns layout by selecting the name of the frame, then turn it off with the eye icon you can see here. So right now we have successfully created the application design, and we are going to link these 3 screens together. So how do we do this? Now you can head over to this right side where you can see prototype after design. So right now under the prototype tab, we are going to link our screens. But before then, let me quickly remove the column settings we have on the login screen by going back to the design tab. Then I have the screen name selected, then go to the layout grid and then turn it off. All right, so we have this now. Then let's go back to the prototype tab. So we are going to link the 3 screens by selecting the first frame you can see here, if that is what you want your users to see immediately they land on your app. So you select the first screen you see now, then go to flow starting point, then click on the plus sign or click on the name of the section. Then it will add the flow starting point for you. So this automatically means once your users land on your app, the first screen they see is the login frame you can see here right now. So the next thing we want to do is we want our users to be able to put in their username and password, then click on the sign in button to display the next screen for them, which is the portfolio screen. So what you will do now is the part of the screen that you want your users to interact with to display the next page for them is what you are going to link. So in this case, we are going to link the sign in button. So we are going to click on the background color of the sign in button right now. So once you click on the white dot on the yellow background button, head over to the prototype tab, then click on interactions or the plus sign you can see over here. So we are going to add a tap action on the button. The tap action we are going to add to the button, we allow users to click on this sign in button, then the second page, which is the portfolio page, will be displayed to the user. So this is how we are going to do it. Now that we have selected the yellow background for our sign in button, now select the tap. So this tap means once they tap on the button, then you can now choose the type of action you want to happen once your users click on sign in. So if you click the drop down arrow you can see here now, you can see different options that says on tap. On tap means once the user click, the next page will display. So on drag means once your user swipe left or right, up or down, the next page will be displayed depending on the interaction you decide to give the button. So if they swipe left, it will display the next page, or if they swipe either right to the top or to the down part of the screen. But we are going to use on tap. You can play with any of the options that you can see here, but right now we are going to use on tap. So now that we have chosen on tap, the next option is for us to be able to choose what happens once the user tap on the screen. So the next thing that happens is the portfolio screen is going to be displayed. And how does it display on the screen? Is the options we can see over here. So navigate to means the login screen will be replaced by the portfolio screen. Open overlay means a pop-up will come to the top of the screen, and scroll to swap overlay and so on and so forth are various options that you can play with, but right now we are going to choose navigate to. So the next option is for us to be able to choose where our screen is going to navigate. Now we have two other pages and the login screen. The login screen is inactive because we are currently on the login screen right now. So where do we navigate to? We will navigate to the portfolio screen. So let's click on portfolio. So now the animation that will take place once the tap and navigate to portfolio takes place is what we are going to choose right now under animation. So click on this part that says instant, and the drop down arrow will display various options for you. So under these options, we are going to use slide in. You are free to play with any of the options that you can see over here right now, but let's play with sliding and you see how it goes. So under sliding, you can decide to choose how you want your screen to slide in. So this arrow means it will slide from the right to the left and so on and so forth. So you can choose any of the arrows you can see over here and choose how you want your portfolio screen to slide in. Ease out is to ease the movement of the portfolio screen while it displays on the screen. So easing the movement means it will slow down the movement of the portfolio screen. It will not jump in too quickly, and this is determined by the number of milliseconds you can see here. So we already have 300 milliseconds and we are going to leave it that way. So let's see what happens now if we click on the sign in button. So you head over to the triangle button that looks like a play button you can see here to present what we have prototyped. Okay, so right now if we click on the sign in button, you can see that the portfolio screen is displayed. So right now I'm going to create a linking between this portfolio image you can see over here to the single portfolio page. So when our user click on the portfolio image, it will display the single portfolio image. Okay, so we are going to link this particular image you can see now by clicking on the white dots over here, then click on interactions, and then click on tab. Then let's leave it at on tab. Then click on none and change it to navigate to. Then click on none and then select the single portfolio screen. Then let's change the instant animation to slide in and then leave the remaining option the way it is, except you want a better option for what we already have now. So close it and let's see what we have. All right, so now if we click on the image you can see over here, it will display the single application screen for us. Right now we need to be able to navigate back to the portfolios page of our app. So we are going to quickly create a back button somewhere around there so that our users will be able to navigate back to the portfolios page. So let's quickly do that on the single image page over here. So I'm going to click on the pen tool, go back to the design tab, then let's quickly draw the back button over here. It doesn't have to be perfect now. But you can make a perfect button when you are creating your own application. So let's just try and adjust it a little bit. Okay. Then increase the stroke width over here. Okay. Then let's quickly change the color by changing the stroke color from the color box here. Then click on the color picker. So now let's click on done. Then go back to the prototype tab. So right now we can link our back button to the portfolio page. So once we have the button selected, head over to the interaction section, then click on tap and then choose on tap. Then on the none section, choose navigate to and navigate to portfolio. So from the animation section, let's click on slide out, because when we wanted the single portfolio page to come into the screen, we used slide in. So if we don't want it anymore, we are going to use slide out. So it will leave the screen by going back to the right side of the screen. So let's use slide out and then let's change the arrow here to make sure it's sliding back to the right side. Okay, so now let's test and see what we have designed. Okay, so now you can see the animation between the screens as if it's a live application. So we have successfully created our mobile app. So once you are done, you can use the home icon to return to the login screen. So just quickly do that by selecting the home icon, then create the interaction the way you want it. Make sure you slide out from the home icon to the login screen you can see over here, and make sure the slide out is sliding to the left. So just do it the way we have done for the single portfolio. Now we have come to the end of today's class, and I'm going to give you the class code for today. But before then, let me remind you that by next week, we are going to create a desktop application, which is the web app for this mobile app we have just created. So for the 3 screens we have over here right now, we are going to create a website application for it. So by so doing, you will know the reason why we have created the columns layout that helped us to arrange our icons, our elements and images and everything we have on the frame screen we created. You will know the reason why we created the column layout settings. So also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and then like, comment on the videos we have uploaded. Thank you as you do so.